Okay, we don't have to do that again anyway. I don't, I gotta come off the air. I'm gonna have to come off the air soon to figure out what's going on with my broadcast because it's not broadcasting. Um, it's not broadcasting on Facebook for some reason. So, and I got to figure that out. I did speak to the people, and they sent me an email, and I'm not good with reading, emails. I mean, yeah, I can read, but I'm not good with, reading uh, emails, you know. So I have to figure out what the problem is, what's wrong, because I'm looking on Facebook right now to find the show, and I'm live. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, because I don't know what's going on with this, but yeah, it's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. So this has been like a terrible show, and you just want to, I know for me, I just want to walk away, you know, but I know that the people in New Orleans wanted to listen to the show, so they're going to have to edit out the part where I wasn't here. Um, but anyway, we take a break and come back with more of the Ron Kelly Talk. All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. I apologize profusely for the technical difficulties that I'm having with this, with my platform. So I'm going to need to change that, and I promise you I'll start working on it this week because I'm losing a lot of listeners because of the technical difficulties that I'm having. So I'm going to work this out. I'm going to find another platform, another main platform to broadcast the show on. I promise you I'm going to find some way because my listener base is down because of the problems that I'm having with StreamYard. So we're going to work that out. Um, we're gonna work that out. To broadcast the show on. I promise you I'm going to find some way because my listener base is down because of the problems that I'm having with yeah, the listening base is down because of the problems I'm having with Facebook. Because I promise I'm going to sit down with some people. I'm going to try to find another platform so the show will be better because StreamYard, I don't know if it's because so many people are listening. I don't know what the problem is, but StreamYard is, I've outgrown StreamYard, I guess. StreamYard is the platform, and it's a good platform. It's a good platform, but it's just too many issues going on, and I can't really deal with it because my listener base is dropping because people are frustrated that there's so many technical problems. And I understand, I get it. When you want to listen to something, when you want to check somebody out, you want them to be there to be able to check them out. And while I am here, yes, indeed, but it's the problems, and it's getting on my nerves too. It's 14 minutes before the hour. You know. So yeah. So the problem. So why is it so important that we? Because all of us know somebody who got a car they can't afford, a black person. And I love my people, but we got to start looking at each other. We got to start looking at each other. Stop looking at the white man. Oh, the white man does it. So what? That doesn't mean that you have to do it just because the white man does it. It doesn't mean that. And all of us, I got a Range Rover. And I'm going to put myself, I have a Range Rover. I didn't need no Range Rover. I mean, I could afford it, but I didn't need it. I could have bought something else. And I probably, if I could go back and buy something else, I probably would. But I didn't need a Range Rover. You know, Range Rover was for climbing mountains and stuff. There's no mountains around here. You know, but I didn't need it, so I'll put myself in the mix. I got a car that I really, you know, don't need. You know? So how many of us know? I mean, like I said, I'm not, you know, it's not going to get repossessed or nothing like that. I can afford to have it, but for what? You know, because then you have to put insurance on it. You have to put repair insurance, like Car Shield or whatever, on it, because if it breaks, it's gonna break you if something goes wrong. So all of us know somebody who has a car that they struggling to pay for because they want to look good when they pull up, you know, when they pull up to the backyard barbecue, when they pull up to the house music festival. You know, all of us know somebody who got a car that they can't afford. All of us know somebody who got a house they can't afford. And what is it about black folks where we want to floss and shine? You know, the best clothes, the best watches, the expensive watches, the bling bling. Because you remember the crib show, the show MTV Cribs. You remember that? MTV Cribs. I remember, you know, where they would come into people's houses, you know, lifestyles of the rich and famous with Robin, I forget his name. Yeah, lifestyles of the rich and famous, where they would go into your house, MTV Cribs, this is my cars. And most of the people on there was black people, basketball players, rappers, you know. But you notice you didn't see any like company presidents, vice presidents, or anything like. You didn't see nobody like that on MTV Cribs. You don't see. Elon Musk don't show his house to people. You know. Jeff Bezos, the filthy rich. You know, Bill Gates. They don't, you know, be showing because a lot of people because they rich, so they don't have to prove that they're rich. You know. But with us, we have to prove that we're rich. We have to floss and shine. We have to, you know, show up with the, you know, the Bentleys, the Beamers, the Benz. I mean, come on. So that's part of the problem. That's, you know, why do we have to do that? Is it self-esteem? You know, do we have a self-esteem problem? You know, is it something like that? That we have to look better than other people? We have to do better than other people? Is that part of it? That oh crap! 10 minutes before the hour. So why we have to floss and shine? Why we have to bling bling? Why do we have to do that? That's the question. Why do we have to do that? All right, everybody, it's about 10 minutes before the hour. I'm thinking of getting off the air early today, but I can't because I got a WBOK down in New Orleans is taping the show. And the show is on Mondays at 7 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. in New Orleans. You know. So did you watch the you know, I watched not the whole thing because it was too long. I watched the SOTU, the State of the Union address, Trump, the other day. And what was disturbing about it, more than anything else, was the division. You know, the division, the hatred that political parties have for each other. Because that spells disaster for the people caught in the middle, us. So you got the House chamber, and one side is sitting down, one side is standing up, and you know the Republicans, that must be the most that had to be the most, um, that had to be the most uh, exercise they've gotten in years. Because every time Trump said something, they stood up. He got a standing ovation every time he said something. And I'm like, wow. And meanwhile, on the other side of the aisle, all the Democrats were sitting down. I mean, one congresswoman even had a sign, a badge, a button that said F ICE. So for me, the lack of communication, the lack of respect for one another in the House and the Senate, well, in the House basically, that's the part that bothers me. That the Democrats and the Republicans hate each other so much that nothing is going to get done. So that was the most disturbing thing for me. Besides, because Trump, and Trump, uh, and that's one thing you say about Trump. You know him. Okay, let me get out of here, everybody. It's about 3 minutes before the hour. I want to thank everybody for listening. We're going to be going off the air so I can find a better venue for the show. So we'll be doing that. That's one of the options that I have, to just take the show off the air and find another carrier, because I'm losing traction here because the issues with Facebook. All right, so I'm going to break out here, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thanks for joining me. And yeah, oh yeah, somebody just texted me about, yeah, Trump. I was, disappointed with with the division in the Congress. You got one side of the building standing up every time Trump said something, and then you got the other side that are sitting down. Now, I do think that when Trump, there was some things that were universal to both sides, and they should have, but they didn't show. For some reason, they didn't show the Democrats when, on times when it should have been universal. They didn't show the Democrats. So, all right, everybody, I'm breaking out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. See you back here next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. I promise we're going to change the whole system, and we're going to find a better way to broadcast this program, because it's too valuable not to. So I'll be here next week, but hopefully under another carrier than StreamYard, because I don't know what's going on, but it's terrible. So we'll see you back here next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. Apologize for all that's going on. And I like to say it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice, and that we may not have it all together, but together we can have it all. Thank you so much. I'm out of here.